Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Consider you are the first human being in the first class of your study, right? So the first question that strikes your mind is who knows? Because knowledge is from knowing. If you know something, you have knowledge. If you don't know something, you don't have knowledge. So who knows? Look into the world. Annually, thousands of books are published. Hundreds of thousands of publications are published, research articles, right? How much is the contribution of Asia? Maybe 25%, 20%. Then how much is the contribution of Pakistan? 5%, 4%, 2%, 1%. Think. Then come to the University of Peshawar and then assess my knowing that how much I know. So the final calculation will tell you that we don't know 0.00000 and write many zeros, and there may be some one after that. So this means we are here because we don't know. If you know, then go home. There is no need of a book, no need of a classroom, no need of a teacher, and no need of a university. So the first thing and the first problem in the South Asian mentality is that everyone thinks that I know the best that can be. And the reality is we don't know. And that is the main problem. When you say I know, you lock the door of knowledge. And when you say I don't know, you open the door. You explore the other's minds. You drain the knowledge from books, from universities, from teachers, from research articles, from your observations, and many, many things. So first of all, the best student and the best teacher is the one who believes that I don't know. And that takes you higher and higher, that knowledge. Then you come to the levels of knowledge. The levels of knowledge means WHAT, or say somebody named Ali, right? When you see the word Ali, you say that I have seen this word. This means you know that word. And other person tells you that I can spell this word, ALI, right? So this is another level of knowledge. Then another person says that I know the meaning of the word Ali. What does it mean? Then another person comes and he tells you that I know the person Ali. Then the next tell you I know about his parents. The other tells you that I know about his geographical location, where he is from, which village he is coming from, and you go on and on. The first one who had seen ALI on a notebook or a book, he also had knowledge. And the one who knows about the character, the past, the parents, the genes, the medical condition, the mental condition, and you say and they are. That is also knowledge. So which sort of knowledge do you need and which sort of knowledge do you want? And how much are you capable to acquire knowledge, and in what form and up to which level. This doesn't mean that everybody must be a unique scientist in the world. In many cases, we don't need Einsteins and Newtons. We are not exploring reinventing the wheel time and again. We need someone who is knowledgeable enough, who is skilled enough to utilize the acquired knowledge for the development, for the prosperity of the world and humanity. So you don't need very deep thinking or killing yourself with continuous thoughts and things like that. In many cases, you can live a happy life by knowing a simple skill and adopting that and utilizing that, earning through that skill and helping other people through that skill. So research never means that you will be Newton and Einstein. Research is something which people don't know, and you devise a method, you study a material to know about it. So first thing, you wash away from your minds that research is something special. No, it is an ordinary thing. And it is much, much easier what the people do in your real practical world. It is not something unusual. The main problem came that the educated people were very small in number in the society. And they didn't tell people that it is an easy thing. And that is why all the society was scared of education, scared of research, right? The research is so simple that you have two plants of maize, the Juaro, Dwabutiri, and you want to measure the effect of a fertilizer, say superphosphate, on the growth and productivity of that plant. So what you do, the title of your project is to measure, to determine the productivity or the effect of superphosphate on the productivity of maize. What is your project practically? You bow two plants side by side, plant one maize here and another here. Put superphosphate to one and not to the other. Keep all the remaining conditions the same. When the product comes out, taste it, wait, look at its volume, check its chemistry, look into its color of both, and you will clearly see that what difference did superphosphate caused in that particular plant. And this is your result. Right? This is research. Where does the problem come? You are asked to measure the effect of tantalum substitution in the barium titanate capacitor. You don't know capacitor, you don't know barium titanate, you don't know about tantalum, you don't know about the dielectric constant. All things appear to you foreign, and you think that some foreigner will come and do this research, and his or her words will be the final words in this research. No, this is only the barrier of language. It is the same maize plants, but in one you put tantalum and in the other there is no tantalum. And when you look into the properties, then you see that this difference occurred because of these two. Look at your cell phone. I am generally telling you that what are the benefits of research. You have a cell phone and you have physics in your hand. When you are mastering physics, this means you have command over the principles of physics. Command means that you can utilize the principles of physics for your benefit and for the benefit of humanity and for the development of the world. Now, in cell phone, we need three things. Number one, it is portable. Portable means you can carry it in your pocket. What does that mean? It means its volume and mass or weight is small. One property. The second property is when somebody calls you, the signal is not interrupted. It cleanly comes to your ear, which means the receiver of your phone. This means that the loss will be minimum and the quality factor must be high. The third thing, you work in an environment of temperature. Sometimes the temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius, sometimes it will be 5, sometimes it will be 40. And if the frequency response of the device changes with temperature, then obviously the signal will not come that cleanly to you. Right? So three things you needed. Number one, portability. Number two, quality factor. Quality factor means minimum loss. And third, temperature stability. Right? The device is temperature stable. The device receives the signal with the minimum possible loss and it is small. Now, what do you know? You have not seen a cell phone. Forget about the cell phone. But you know physics. In physics, what is being done by the size? How can you decrease the size? You are cooking 10 cups of tea and you have very small amount of sugar and you want to sweet all the 10 cups with a small amount of sugar. What do you need here? The sugar must be sweeter than ordinary sugar. The sweeter the sugar, the less the amount of the sugar will be used. You follow me? Yes. So when the sugar is less, the size of the product will be less. In physics, you have relative permittivity. People call it dielectric constant. Dielectric constant is inversely proportional to the square root of the size of the circuit. So the higher the dielectric constant, the smaller will be the circuit size. The smaller the circuit size, the minimum amount of material will be used. The minimum amount of material is used, the smaller will be the component size and the smaller will be its weight. So it is physics which resolved your cell phone problem. The second thing, when the loss is minimum, the signal will reach you uninterrupted. When signal passes through a device and it is not smoothly transmitted, in the simplest word, I will say that somebody shouted at someone to tell me that I am coming, but that someone cannot speak. So the signal he transmitted to that person will be passed to me with a lot of difficulty. But if the person is very fluent, then he will straight away tell me that he said this. The same thing is here. A signal came from far and it reached your device. If the loss of your device is high, if 100% of the signal was lost, so no message was conveyed, right? If 5% of the signal was lost, then 95% of the message was conveyed. So the minimum the loss, the higher the quality factor. And you can measure that through the principles of physics. You make a field, in that field you put the resonator, which resonates at specific frequency, and that tells you about the loss of the material you use. So the second thing was solved. The third thing is you heat the material, and check its frequency response. If the shift in the resonant frequency is a lot of shift occurs, this means the device is not good. But if with temperature the shift is minimum, this means the device will resonate at the specific frequency with no change, with change in temperature. With the change in temperature, no change will occur in the resonant frequency. And when your frequency is unique, then obviously there will be no loss and no malfunction of the device. So this is the way the material scientists bring physics into the society. Cell phone is a useful thing in the society. People use it. Physics, you go around the whole country and shout Newton laws, Einstein equations, Maxwell equation, and nothing will happen in 1000 years unless and until you have transformed your knowledge of physics into society, into the use of the society, into the technical instruments, right? So your physics is useless unless and until you can take it to the betterment for the betterment of the society. And this was the example that how physics principles are transformed into products. A very well-known sentence, somebody said, a well-known sentence, that physicists are scientists built to engineer, built to understand. Physicists, scientists build to understand, and engineers understand to build. Engineers acquire knowledge generated by the scientists, and they acquire their knowledge to apply it and build something. And physicists design experiments to know the principles. If you put a wire between two electrodes and there is an ammeter or voltmeter, you designed an experiment. You built a setup to know the property of that wire, the resistivity, the conductivity, and whatever you want to measure with that. So physicists build to understand, and engineers understand to build. But the main problem is, I see in my country, is that we only memorized science. And I'm telling you, the memorization of science can never bring any change unless and until you can apply that knowledge and transform them into products so that they are used and they are taken into the local and global market. And then your physics will result in the economic and technological development of your country. So, the more you learn, the more you feel ignorant, because the universe is not a small thing. I'll give you a simple example that the carbon, carbon, it was known about 24,000 years ago. People knew that this is carbon, or maybe they had seen the burnt wood, they had seen the coal in the mines, right? So they knew carbon is there. When the mankind learned writing, after using the stone and other things, or digging into stones to write something, they discovered that carbon is very soft, and if I use it for writing, it scratches, and that color remains on the wood, on the wall, and they thought that we have done a very great invention, that now we can write easily, and it was carbon. After the man went through various stages of developments, they discovered steel. Iron could be cut with iron, but steel could not be cut with iron or steel. And for that purpose, people use again diamond. And it is the same 100% carbon which cuts the steel. So it was the developed industrial world, and they thought that carbon has shown all its miracles. But in 2010, two persons or three persons, I don't remember exactly, were given Nobel Prizes for graphene, which is also 100% carbon in 2010. What this means? This means that the mankind has not yet understood the single element carbon. There are 118 elements, and there is a so huge and large universe which is totally unexplored. So never think that research will finish and the knowledge will end up. No, we couldn't answer still very fundamental questions. We haven't yet studied the old 24,000 years old carbon. So how can we say that we know about the universe? So the world is too big. If people are telling you that that person is taking my resources or that person is taking my resources, don't worry about these things, but you should worry about your knowledge. If you know something, then you will know the value of your resources. But if you don't know something, your resources are just stones for you. And people don't sell, neither people buy stones. People buy cell phone. People buy fiber optics. And that is why you are underdeveloped and your surrounding world is developed, because this classroom teaches people, trains people to utilize their knowledge of physics in the transformation of their mineral resources, agriculture resources, hydel resources, and you name it, and all resources they use and take them to the global and local market, and they sell it and they earn money for that. They make life comfortable through that, and that is where the research is needed. So when somebody asks you that why are you doing research, you should have that image. in your mind, because the people who don't do research, they are not original. They are not producing original products. They are copying the others. And copying can never match the original. A copy can never match the original, right? You may have a lot of products much cheaper, right? But still people will look for Japanese Sony product. People make many copies, but those who know, they know which one is the original and which one is the copy, right? So research is must if you want to live a decent life in the universe. Secondly, don't worry about the universe that it will finish. I am telling you a simple thing. Keeping in view the greed of the mankind, if they had power, would they have left a single piece of bread for the 21st century? Never. If it was in the power of the mankind, they would have not left a piece of bread for the next century. But it is the beauty of the universe that it gives you your share according to your knowledge. Right? The more you know, the more will be your share in the universe. The universe is not American. The universe is not for Japanese. The universe is not for British or Pakistani. The universe is for those who know and who can utilize it. The more you know, the more will be your share. So, this universe is non-property. It is the property of knowledge. Right? So this is your universe. Learn it and it is yours. And this classroom is for that. To equip you with the knowledge, not to memorize things, but to learn for application. Second thing, are you learning for physical comfort or mental comfort? If you need physical comfort, then the easiest way is to do nothing, lay down on the bed, and within a couple of months you will be ill and you will die in 3-4 months. That is the most comfortable thing you can do. Right? So the mankind is not being created for comfort. If they were prophets, if they were philosophers, if they were common people, you will live the life in full swing if you work harder and harder. So if you are studying for comfort, then after today don't come to the classroom, lay down on the bed at your home, and I guarantee you that when after a month you get up from the bed, you will not be able to walk. And in a few months, you will have a number of diseases and you will die. And that is the most comfortable way if you need physical comfort. If you need mental comfort, then mental comfort gives you the only way to acquire and utilize knowledge. People are not dying of hunger. But if your parents, if your fellow beings are dying because of medicine, because of resources, because of the lack of technical skills, and you are living like that in that society, it is your responsibility to do your duty. Become a medical technician, become a great physicist, to devise, to make to manufacture instruments for medical purposes, to make different products for medical tests, for diagnosis, for food preservation, for increase in production, for environmental improvement in the society, for changing the structure of your wall. If a solar panel can transform solar light into electrical energy, why can't I make this wall of some material that sun falls upon it and it emits coldness? I put sun upon it and it warms the inside of the room. They are called electrocaloric materials. There are numerous ways of utilizing science. So if you want a mental comfort, then the mental comfort will come and it will strengthen your mind when you use it.